Good morning. It is Wednesday, November the 9th, 2022. I'm Pearson Bowen. This is the CBC Morning Report. Another shooting incident in Barbados Tuesday evening, leaving two men with serious injuries. Reports are that the police received a telephone call to Operations Control at 6:47 p.m. about a shooting incident at My Lord's Hill, St. Michael, where two men were injured. Initial investigations have confirmed that there was indeed a shooting at that location and that two men had been transported by private vehicle for medical attention. Of the injured, one is a 28-year-old male of Barkers Road, St. Michael, who received a gunshot wound to his mouth. The other man of My Lord's Hill, St. Michael, received injuries to his leg and abdomen and was said to be in critical condition. In more news this morning, health authorities will be forced to dump over 10,000 pediatric COVID-19 vaccines come the end of November. This from co-coordinator of the National Vaccination Program, Dr. Elizabeth Ferdinand, who joins us now on the Morning Report. Dr. Ferdinand, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson, and good morning, Barbados.
The question is, why are parents not bringing their children forward to receive the vaccines? What do you think is the cause?
Well, I think there are many causes. I think people are aware now that we're not getting a lot of cases, and so they feel, well, the pandemic is over, and so there's no need for vaccination. But that is not true. There is still a need for vaccination because if you do catch COVID, then the actual disease itself is much less worrisome and serious, and so it's best to be vaccinated if possible.
So as coordinators of the program, what are you doing now to be able to raise awareness and the need for parents still, in spite of the relaxation of all of the protocols, to bring their children forward?
Well, we're trying as best we can. All the clinics are open, having their days that they do vaccines on, and they are trying to push it to all the parents that come in through the doors. We're trying to do some media campaign. We had done a proposal to get some funds to really do a massive campaign from the PR end of it, but unfortunately, funds are scarce at this time. So at the moment, we did not get the money, maybe going forward, but I'm not sure. So that's what we are trying as best we can, and programs like this and other media programs, we are trying to push it as much as we can.
If there's no uptick, what's the danger in children not being vaccinated?
Well, it means that the virus will spread among the children from one to another, and the children will take it home to their parents, to their other sisters and brothers, and to their grandparents. And that's the worry, is that the grandparents, especially the older ones who have comorbidities, could catch it and develop serious complications and even die. We are fortunate in that this particular strain that is going wrong is not as virulent as, say, the Delta was before, but it is still very contagious.
We see the prevalence now again of the flu, and how can one misdiagnose the flu versus the virus, the COVID-19 virus?
Well, it's not easy because they have very similar symptoms. The best thing is to go to your medical practitioner or the clinic and get tested, or just go straight to the testing sites and get tested to rule out the possibility that it is COVID or not.
With the dumping of these 10,000 vaccines by the end of the month, what does that mean for December and forward? Would that mean that we would be obviously having a smaller number of vaccines available, or would we have none available?
Well, the position is that we will have none. We will have no pediatric Pfizer doses, as at the present moment we have no adult Pfizer either. All we have after the end of November will be the Johnson & Johnson and the Sinopharm for the adults 18 and over. We are desperately trying to get some more pediatric and some more adult Pfizer as we speak. But these things take time. There's a lot of red tape to go through, and of course the financing of it. So we are trying, because we just don't know what is around the corner, and we must be prepared.
Based on your best efforts and what you know so far, can you give any idea as to when we would receive another tranche of the pediatric Pfizer vaccine?
I am hoping December or January, but I'm hoping for December.
So the appeal now between now and the 30th of November before the big dump is for parents to bring their children forward. Would I be right?
Yes, what we need to do is for those parents who have had the children who have had the first dose, they need to come back and get their second dose as soon as possible. For those children who have not had any vaccine at all, and I'm talking about the COVID-19 pediatric vaccine, they need to come up between now and Sunday to get their first dose so that we can fit in the second dose before the 30th of November. That'll give me 3 weeks, and that's the minimum time that you should have between the two doses. So that's my appeal, is those who've had first for their second as soon as possible. Those who want it, please come for their first dose before this Sunday, I would suggest, and have their second dose then just before the end of November.
That's an important call to parents this morning indeed, at Sunday being a very critical day for you to bring your children for their first COVID-19 vaccine, those children between the age of 5 and 12, for their first COVID-19 Pfizer vaccine, and those who are in receipt waiting for their second, you have still some time. But thank you, Dr. Ferdinand, and best of luck continuing as we continue to encourage more parents to bring the children forward to be vaccinated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pearson.
You're very welcome. We'll take a break right here on the Morning Report, but coming up, we'll give you an update on the U.S. midterm elections.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Matchback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade, or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
When disaster threatens, it is comforting to know there's a team working to deliver credible, comprehensive, and up-to-date information. A team that is committed to serving you. A team that will be there before, during, and after the disaster. That is Team CBC, here for you this hurricane season.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affairs segment.
Key federal, state and local elections that could shape the United States political landscape for years to come were undecided last night as states across the country tallied votes. The midterm elections will determine whether Democrats keep their slim majorities in the House and the Senate, or if Republicans will seize control of one or both chambers of the legislature. What's certain, as Al Jazeera's Steve Clemens reports, is that the Republicans have not succeeded in initiating a red wave as they predicted.
There was a strident feeling that the Republicans were going to win 40 governorships out of 50, win 240 seats in the House, and win 54 Senate races. As we look at how things are playing out now, we should remind the audience that we don't know how all the cards are going to be played yet. But that being said, those results are basically unachievable right now. So it's going to be less at some level than that. And we see dynamics that are really interesting and unusual that you wouldn't see if it was a major red wave. We have two likely female lesbian governors that are likely to win, one in Massachusetts, one potentially in Oregon. We have the first transgendered man who just won the first time in U.S. history in New Hampshire. New Hampshire is not a liberal state. It's a state with a lot of confusing currents, but you've got a first transgendered man who has won in a state House of Representatives. So there are interesting trends that we weren't paying much attention to. But on the broader issue of abortion, it's something I find very different between the Republican and Democratic parties. Republicans have been focused like a laser beam on the Supreme Court and the justices in this country, almost single-mindedly focused on making sure that they achieved that, and they knew that the objective was to get a reversal on abortion, on Roe v. Wade. Democrats have been concerned about this for decades, but Democrats never took the court issue as seriously as Republicans, were distracted by many other grievances that they were doing, and behaving that while the abortion decision really did impact politics of this country, it was short-lived because the Democrats were distracted by other big issues, including Republicans. But it faded much as it did before, that there wasn't the same kind of focus. So I'm not surprised that it faced, but I do think that we're facing a very difficult time in the country as we look at how this plays out, of again living in two nations. One nation where women have certain rights that are embedded in their state constitutions and protection, and other places where anything that tilts towards abortion becomes a criminal act. And I think that is something that this nation is not going to solve tonight and is going to be an ongoing ulcer for many years.
Ukraine has accused Russia of looting empty homes in the southern city of Kherson and occupying them with troops in civilian clothes to prepare for street fighting ahead of Kyiv's army. In recent days, Russia has ordered civilians out of Kherson in anticipation of a Ukrainian assault to recapture the city, the only regional capital Moscow has seized since its invasion in February.
Well, we've been hearing about these evacuations for a while now. Russian President Vladimir Putin has endorsed evacuations, but there's been extra impetus over the last few days. That's because both sides have accused each other of targeting that dam further upriver. Both sides have accused each other of wanting to blow it up, and if it does blow, it will have devastating consequences. But there's also extra impetus because Russian forces had given residents around that dam until the 10th of November to evacuate. So, and there is a feeling here, there's a tense feeling that something will unfold over the next few days. Even here where we've been hearing air sirens overnight over the last few days. There's been reports of explosions, although because of media restrictions we can't go and see what or if anything has been hidden. But around Kherson there is this feeling amongst the Ukrainians that something is going to happen, and Kherson is very important to the Russians. It's the only regional capital that they've managed to take since the start of the war. It's the only point, the west side of that river Dnipro, that the Russian troops occupy. Kherson is a gateway to the south. It's also important for fresh water supply to annex Crimea. In fact, when Russia annexed it back in 2014, the Ukrainians cut off water. So when Russians took Kherson, they reinstated that water supply. In fact, it was one of the reasons President Putin gave for the invasion of Ukraine.
Well, coming up at 6:30 when you join me for Morning Barbados, we'll be met with the Barbados Association of Creatives and Artists. They're having a big panel discussion on Friday on a rather interesting subject. Stick around, we'll tell you more about that. The world travel market is on. Barbados is represented, and so Barbados Minister of Transport will join us to update us on meetings and progress thus far. And when we talk HR with HERMAB this morning, we're looking at the role of HR as a champion in organizational culture. Those and a whole lot more straight ahead at 6:30 when you join me for Morning Barbados. The Morning Report continues in just a moment.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in
The estates at St. George project may have slowed a bit owing to weather conditions, but developers are hopeful for a December completion. Wendy Burt tells us some areas are already complete.
Anyone traversing the Boarded Hall area in St. George would see a hive of activity as workmen move swiftly to complete work at the Sagicor project, the estates at St. George. Edward Clark, the Director of Strategic Projects with the insurance company, told CBC there were a few stalls along the way, but work is actively continuing to finish it.
The project is going quite well. Obviously, we've had a few interruptions recently with the amount of rain that we've been having in Barbados in the last few weeks. But we are gearing towards a December completion, and that will be phase one of the project, the 88 residential units. The commercial center is already completed, and the clubhouse and the back-of-house operations center.
Mr. Clark said the contractors are working with them and have committed to delivery dates.
We are expecting completion from the construction companies by middle of December. That is our expected date. Everyone is getting excited at this time, as you can understand, as we're nearing completion and pushing ahead, full steam ahead, to try and ensure we meet our target dates.
The estates feature a number of amenities, and the setting, which has been described as a lovely place to live, is not only to attract retirees, but individuals from all walks of life who may want to live there. Wendy Burt, CBC News.
Well, a new comprehensive strategy is being unveiled to address the daily gridlock on the island's roads. The initiative, dubbed the National Transportation Mobility Plan, is expected to form part of the new Draft Development Plan 2023, set to be rolled out in a few months. Senior Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Dr. The Honourable William Dugid, provided an update during a World Town Planning Day symposium at the Courtyard by Marriott. The event, hosted by the Barbados Town Planning Society, focused on decarbonizing Barbados and the impacts for physical planning, green transport and mobility.
It is well demonstrated that constructing new roads alone will not solve our transport challenges. There must be a change in emphasis towards mobility shifting, the focus from planning for cars into planning a network where there is a transportation choice for people and goods.
Dr. Dugid says the new system will introduce a range of new modes of transportation on land and at sea.
Our land use planning through the Physical Development Amended 2023 must set the stage to ensure that a range of transport strategies and modes are deployed that are appropriate to the context. These include a reliable and effective transit network, urban transportation management strategies, introducing park and ride locations at key junctures, and advancing existing and planned active transportation and trails, and introducing water taxis and water ferry services.
Barbadians are today paying more for gasoline, diesel and kerosene. The increase began at midnight. However, there has been a reduction in the price for liquefied petroleum gas products. The price of gasoline is now $4.23 a litre, an increase of 9 cents. Diesel is up by 13 cents to $4.03 a litre. And kerosene has moved from $2.42, an increase of 28 cents. Meanwhile, the retail price of bottled gas has been reduced to $167.66 for the 100-pound cylinder, $47.01 for the 25-pound cylinder, $41.54 for the 22-pound cylinder, and $37.76 for the 20-pound cylinder. Well, the flooding at Murphy's Pasture has prompted government to do some work there. Actually, they're now compulsorily acquiring land at Kensington New Road and Beccles Hill, New Orleans. In moving the resolution, the Minister of Housing, Lands and Maintenance, Dwight Sutherland, said the 3 parcels of land would be used to relocate several families. He told the lower chamber yesterday they have to protect the residents' health and prevent social decay. The ministry will be constructing 12 3-bedroom units in one area and housing 8 people in the other.
3 parcels of land. Thank you. And we mentioned that the 3 parcels, 2 parcels are located at Kensington New Road in St. Michael. But approximately that parcel is 11,480 square feet of land. And there are 2 parcels, 2 lots. And then at Beccles Land, New Orleans, there's a larger parcel, some 37,529 square feet of land, which is close to an acre, 0.86 of an acre.
In other news this morning, French prosecutors have opened an inquiry into child abuse by a French cardinal after he confessed publicly to reprehensible acts against a 14-year-old girl in the 1980s.
Cardinal Jean-Pierre Ricard confessed to assaulting a 14-year-old girl 35 years ago. He's withdrawn from his religious duties. These new revelations come a year after an investigation into the French Catholic Church unveiled widespread abuse of children by priests. Let's bring in Mark Atzuruni, who is the Europe coordinator for Survivors Network of those abused by priests. He joins us from Pau in the southwest of France. Thank you so much for being on the program, Mark. Other church leaders have said that this confession was a shock. What's your reaction? Could this really be such a surprise to church leaders?
Well, in a sense, it was a surprise to the French in general, but I should add to complete your report that this one cardinal was indeed found to have abused a 14-year-old 35 years ago, but he was just one among 11 bishops who were reported as having committed sexual abuses over the last decades. And this came out yesterday during the annual conference of the French Bishops Association. So it's not just one isolated incident. It's a large number, as I say, of bishops, in other words, people at the highest level of the church who are found to have committed these atrocities.
Mark, given the large number of allegations that are being made, he is the only one to confess. And this is a man that only retired from his position in 2019, and presumably those other bishops were serving up until recently too. What can we make of that?
Yes, you're absolutely right. He's the only one who came clean and confessed. The others have not made public statements, but it has been known by the church, most of them. Their crimes have been known for a number of years. And what's really problematic and tragic is that the church has been hiding these crimes and has been moving these bishops around from one parish to the other just to make sure the information wouldn't become public. That's the real atrocity here, the way these people were not removed from ministry. Very often they were protected, including at the highest level.
Let's look at sports now. In this morning's ongoing T20 World Cup semi-final in Australia, Pakistan are chasing 153 for victory against New Zealand. Playing at the Sydney Cricket Ground, New Zealand opted to bat first, but were kept on 152 for 4 off their 20 overs. Daryl Mitchell top scored with 53 not out. That included 3 fours and a 6, while skipper Kane Williamson added 46. Shaheen Shah Afridi took 2 for 24. Well, Pakistan in reply a short while ago were 55 without loss after 6 overs. There's live coverage of this, the first semi-final, on MCTV's channel ESPN 308 and also on radio on 94.7 FM. Barbados Pride have lost to the Jamaica Scorpions for the second time in the CG50 Super 50 competition, going down again last night at the Sir Viv Richards Stadium in Antigua. Winning the toss and batting, the Pride struggled on a tricky wicket to 176 all out in 45.5 overs. Captain Shea Hope top scored with 49, inclusive of 2 fours and 2 sixes, but the other batters never looked settled. A 9th wicket partnership worth 36 runs between Akeem Jordan, who made 21, and Jomel Warrican, 15, helped the Pride avoid a less than handy total. Javor Royal took 3 for 33 and Dennis Bully 3 for 31. Here's
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.
Morning Barbados will be coming to your parish live every Friday until November. Stay tuned from 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. to see which parish we're in. Join us for it all.
Good morning, morning Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Come on, you family, make some noise. Are you ready?
Q in the Community is on every Thursday in a community near you.
Q in the Community is well and alive.
Come on down and, have a line with all of me. The more mature folk come to dance, to sing.
Scrape the bones smooth.
Q in the Community is your place to meet friends, to socialize, and just to be you.
Yes, come on down and take in the karaoke.
Whether you're coming from north, south, east, or west, we have a bus for you.
Q in the Community.
Stay tuned to Q100.7 FM to find out where we will be next, and follow us on Facebook. Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in. And
there in reply, the Scorpions made 177 for 5 in 45.1 overs to win by 5 wickets. Brandon Keane top scored with 41. While Kamari Boys took 2 for 27. Now here's a look at forecast conditions as recorded earlier at the Met Office of the Grant Lee Adams International Airport. At the moment, under partly cloudy with a slight haze conditions, 26.3 degrees Celsius Barbados is, humidity 87%, the barometer reads 11.5 millibars, and the winds are coming from east-southeast at 28 kilometers an hour. There is a low tide scheduled for 22 minutes to 10 this morning, the second at just about 10:30 tonight, and a high tide at 4 minutes to 4 this afternoon. Seas are moderate in open water, swells up to 2 meters and steady. In the forecast today, Barbados cloudy with sunny periods with the occasional brief scattered light to moderate shower. While in the forecast for Barbados tonight, cloudy with clear periods with a few brief scattered light to moderate showers. And a look at forecast conditions now for some selected international cities. And that's it for today's edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Pearson Bowen. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning,
morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to today, a wonderful Wednesday indeed, the 9th of November 2022. I am Pearson Bowen, welcoming you everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us on our streams, on our website, on our YouTube and Facebook as well. Thank you for interacting as well. Now, coming up today, Wednesday, you'll have an opportunity to interact with me. We'd have some fun as I test how truly Bajan you are. No Barbados will win. Another chance to get your name into the big draw coming up on Monday. Also some Bajan sayings and meanings. If you're really Barbadian, then you would know the sayings. I hope you can interpret those sayings and give me the true meaning as well. NIFCA is on, as you know, and a part of what they're doing is something called a movie night, drive-in movie night. We'll get an update when the film commissioner joins us to share with us what we can expect to see. It's all going to be all local indeed. The role of HR in championing that culture in the organization, that's what we will focus on when we talk HR with Hermab in just a moment. The world travel market is on. Barbados is represented. Our Minister of Transport will join us this morning to share on the progress thus far in meeting up and promoting Barbados in that global space. But I want to get started this morning as we take a look at the ongoing activities of the Barbados Association of Creatives and Artists. They're having a panel discussion coming up on Friday. Joining us now to talk a little bit more about that is a man with whom you're very, very familiar, often on a different stage. Now on my stage this morning, Colin Spencer. Colin, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning to your viewers.
Good to see you. It is also good to know that BACA is really still relevant and still active out there in the community. Talk to me a little bit as we get deeper about BACA, your purpose, your role, and what it is that you've achieved thus far.
We have been working hard behind the scenes, but obviously the COVID for over 2 years has limited the work, because just as we had our elections, the following year we ran straight into COVID. But we've been promoting, we've been reaching out to other creatives, other than, because we are not a Calypsonian organization, we are an organization for creatives. We had a concert about a year ago, and we've been having online meetings, online seminars, and well-known Barbadian producer, artist, promoter, Peter Headley. He has done a lot of work with us. So we are doing things, and this panel discussion is one we believe has been long overdue, and it's really worth having. So we decided to go ahead and produce it.
We'll come to that in just a moment, but yours is an umbrella organization, as you said, of artists and creatives, all expressions within the creative industries. So give us a sense of what kinds of skill sets come and fall under BACA.
Whatever creatives do, whatever creatives are involved with, as a matter of fact, we started as an organization of Calypsonians. It was the Barbados Association of Calypsonians. But we decided there have been quite a few of these types of organizations. And yes, some of them lasted for a bit, but we wanted to be more encompassing of creatives, get more creatives involved. So we started reaching out to people, and we amended the constitution to change the name to Barbados Association of Creatives and Artists. So whatever you do, whether you're in film, music production, if you're an entertainer, vocalist, composer, you're free to join our organization. As a matter of fact, our annual general meeting is coming up later this month.
So
we've been reaching out to people.
Right.
We've kept reaching out.
So when you come together as as a group of creatives, you're agitating for change. Part of it is that, apart from celebrating the best of who you are. And part of it is this upcoming panel discussion on Friday, which is going to be discussing a rather interesting subject, looking at the whole question of the impact of defamation on local calypso and how big an issue is censorship. Why is that such a critical point of discussion this time around?
As a composer myself, we feel the need to have these lawyers give us greater insight into what constitutes defamation, because it's confusing to the composers amongst us who are involved with crop over. We are aware that defamation can come in any form. It doesn't necessarily come in calypso. We are certain that within reggae, the reggae artists, they have had problems over the years as well. But we wanted to do this because the law to us isn't very clear. You release a song, you send it to most of us who compose, you send a song to your attorney and they give you the all clear, and no attorney worth his or her salt is going to mislead you, because they have their reputations to maintain and preserve. But you send it to the radio stations, the two major ones, the ones which play crop over music, and one radio stations will play, then the other wouldn't play. Sometimes both radio stations play the song. Everything is going well in the tents, and then you get into the NCF's competition, and you're asked to change lyrics that have been playing on air and in the tents, and they have been in the public domain. So that really is a challenge. And very often when you have to change lyrics, it alters what you were trying to get across to your listeners. And sometimes it's almost impossible to find words, find lines that can suitably replace what you were trying to achieve lyrically. So hence this discussion.
So Bacchus, it seems, if I'm reading you correctly, is of the view that as an artist, as you create, and you create honestly, that it ought to be allowed its space to live, to fly, without interference of any sort, whether it's through defamation, somebody asks you to adjust something. But at the same time, organizations like ours have other interests to protect as well. And I don't think you appreciate that.
Yes, we do. We appreciate and we understand that. But we would like to see Barbados to come to a situation where the law seems to be the law right across the board. Mm-hmm. Some of the reasoning that we have gotten for the changes that are required when you get to the pickety crop stage of finals, we are very pleased with. And sometimes, to be frank, it comes across as though there are some persons or entity that are seeking to protect the government of the day, the administration of the day. That is our deep feeling. That is widely discussed among calypsonians.
Since the law is often open to interpretation, then I suppose you will always have that space where someone has a slightly different interpretation from yours. But in this panel discussion, you're pulling together a number of notable faces I saw there on our poster, which we just shared with you folks on the screen. That's on Friday. By the way, it's this Friday at the Barbados Museum starting at 7:30 in the evening, when you're looking at the impact of defamation on local calypso and how big an issue is censorship. And you're having notable attorneys at law, Lynette Eastman, Gyson Mears, Hal Gollop, and moderated by Cleve Scott. These people, no doubt, are not strangers to the creative space.
No, they're not. They're not at all. Hal's been around for a long time. I believe that at some point he may have been a calypso judge also, something closely connected to crop over. I've been to several events and I've seen Miss Eastman there. She's around the arts, culture and the arts, and Gyson is no stranger. You know, he having been a former police officer, he's been out and about. He's aware of what's going on in the country. And
Cleve, we know, is definitely steeped in calypso and just generally the art form of culture. So on Friday evening at the museum, it's going to be, I suppose, in the Wall Theatre there at the back?
Yes, please. Yes,
all right. And so you'd like then to have, who would you like to see come and fill the seats there for Friday's panel discussion?
Mostly creatives, composers especially, and members of the general public who find some of the decisions kind of troubling, but we are asking these attorneys to share with us, to point us, you know, explain what really is defamation, and you know, we see some aspects of censorship. It's been around for years, but you know, like there's something that we've noticed. Well, when there used to be the semi-finals of Pick the Crop, you would notice that someone would be chosen, and the public would be feeling, okay, this guy, this person is going to make it all the way to finals, and they had a good performance, and then you don't see the names appearing at finals. Our thinking amongst us is that has been that when such decisions are made, the person is singing a type of song that the powers that be would rather not have singing where they can reach an international audience, where that's what Pickety Crop really is. And so they're left behind. That's just our thinking. Could be other reasons, but
could be, or could not be. And so that's the level of censorship that you also want to address. And this is on Friday, folks, on Friday at 7:30 at the Barbados Museum. But this is also an opportunity for people who are creative in the visual arts as well, you know, whether it is through paintings or film. And so I don't want people to go away thinking it's just for musicians, it's just you guys that sing who receive this problem. But there are other areas of expression where, you know, there is a dabbling and a misunderstanding of the law, as you framed it, that needs to be clarified as well. So we want to encourage as many creatives in as many areas as possible to be a part of it, looking at the impact of defamation on local calypso, and then asking the question, how big an issue is censorship? So it's open to everyone. These notable attorneys at law will be there to share. And of course, we'll also, I suppose, have an opportunity to have question and answering going on.
Certainly.
I'd like to encourage as many people in my industry as well, broadcast, to be there too, because it would behove us well to hear the thinking behind, you know, the different positions that would be postured, as well as we too have to make determinations as to what is allowed, what's not allowed as well. So clarity is also pretty critical, and that's what this is about. Another effort of the Barbados Association of Creatives and Artists as well, and I can't wait to hear of the outcome, and I can't wait to be there on Friday, 7:30, the Barbados Museum. You wanted to say something?
Actually, Pearson, it's not too late for CBC to come on board and record the discussion, you know.
Well, there's a paper trail that needs to obtain, And we can share the information about the email address afterwards. But do the paper trail
Certainly.
and let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. I'm
Thank
sure the folks in the newsroom are monitoring, and so they'll know now there is an event happening on Friday evening at 7:30 at the Barbados Museum when BACA hosts a panel discussion looking at the subject of the impact of defamation on local calypso and how big an issue is censorship. Colin Spencer, thank you so much for joining us this morning to take your time to go through with us the things that concern you guys in BACA. And we want everyone to be a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Morning Barbados takes a break right here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
When disaster threatens, it is comforting to know there's a team working to deliver credible, comprehensive, and up-to-date information. A team that is committed to serving you. A team that will be there before, during, and after the disaster. That is Team CBC, here for you this hurricane season.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 11 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. The good book says, you know, we should feed the poor and the needy because as much as you've done it to the least of these, you've done it unto me. And that's a commission which the Church of the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints takes very, very seriously. As a matter of fact, so seriously, they had a very special day recently. Joining me now to talk more about that and its commission, its mission, is Kathy Daniel, the National Communications Director. Good morning to you, Kathy.
Good morning, Pearson. How are you doing?
I'm well. Good to see you again. Have I framed this correctly? As much as you've done it to the least of these, you've also done it unto me?
Pretty darn close, yes.
I like you. I like you. And so the work of Jesus, the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints is to be a part of its community and to go out to minister to its community in many ways. And so recently, you would have had the International Day of Service. Talk to me a little bit about that and what does that mean to the church?
One tiny correction. The name of the church is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Right.
And our mission really is to help everyone come unto Christ.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that everyone on this planet is a son or daughter of our Heavenly Father. And his Son, Jesus Christ, saved the world from sin and death through his atoning sacrifice. And so, through Jesus invites everyone to come unto him, to follow his commandments, and to become more like him. And one of the ways that we can do that, as you mentioned, is by serving other people. If you look through the New Testament, you will see that Jesus helped people. He fed the hungry. He raised the dead. he turned water into wine, which I thought would have made him very popular in certain circles, but apparently not. No, all joking aside though,
Yes.
every year the Worldwide Church holds an International Day of Service, and each unit in whichever country, because we're right around the world now, is asked to come up with some sort of community effort to help someone else. Earlier this year, I think you and I had spoken about Clean Up Barbados.
Yes.
Excuse me. That was one way that we had worked to help Barbadians, because this is where we live. And we are all sons and daughters of our Heavenly Father. And even though we may have different spiritual beliefs, think about it. If you're a parent, you have more than one child, you don't want them fighting.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to squabble because kids are kids, but you don't want some of this horrible so-called religious-based abuse that we see around the globe now. That's not what we are about. We are about helping each other because we're all here. My personal belief, this isn't church, this is Kathy talking, is that if Heavenly Father wanted to, he could have put us all on a separate planet, each person on one planet, but he didn't. So there's however many billion of us here together, and I think we're supposed to get along.
Yes.
So the International Day of Service was the 29th of October, and all around the globe, Latter-day Saints were doing things to help each other.
Mm-hmm. And so
for us,
in Barbados, what did the church do to help each other?
Well, we have made a connection with the Barbados Alliance to End Homelessness. They run a shelter in Bridgetown, which is to aid, people who literally have no place to go. And it's really sad to think of how many people are in need of these services. And like everything else, this costs money.
Yes.
So we were in touch with them. We were able to find out from them what they needed. And so on that Saturday morning, the 3 branches of the church around the island got together, well, each branch separately, and packed hampers of items like toiletries, toothpaste, toothbrushes, non-perishable foods like crackers or canned items, so that these people will have something. Yeah, there you go. Those are some of the pictures from the 3 branches.
Yes.
Let me shout out Massey Stores. Have to give a shout out to Massey because we spoke to them. We knew we had an idea of what we wanted to do, having been in touch with the shelter, and we had an idea of the quantities of items that we wanted. So we went to Massey Stores, and they were able to give us very good prices. And on top of that, they donated the Massey bags. So those wonderful green bags with the pretty illustrations on it, that's part of the project, and those were donated by Massey.
As I watch the pictures, I see a good mixture of ages, but a predominant amount of young people who are smiling while doing this as well. And I'm sure this is part of the inculcating of a particular attitude within the young people who attend your church.
Yes, definitely. We have a structured church where there are classes for all ages and stages. And it doesn't matter when you join. I joined as a big hardback woman. So, and it made a huge difference in my life. But for our youth, I don't know about you, how you manage working in the news industry, but it is terrifying to me as a human being and as the mother of a young man to constantly hear about the shooting, the deaths, the violent crime, all of this stuff happening all across the globe, but of course right here in Barbados. I mean, so if we can show our children a different path, help them to understand that by helping each other, by following Christ, by loving each other in some way, showing that love. It's not about sitting down in church on a Sunday and singing hymns and going, oh yes, I love you, that's so wonderful. No, it's about getting out and doing. it is a verb.
Yes, it is indeed. And being of service, not just to yourself, but to others as well. And looking beyond oneself, because oftentimes we want to search the crowd and look for someone who's like us, thinking it makes it a whole lot more comfortable for us now to reach out. But when you go beyond yourself to see another person in need, regardless of their state, then you recognize that you're truly doing it unto me, and then you realize the own satisfaction that you actually get from having reached out beyond yourself. And that's what I see you guys do very
much.
often.
Yes. If you think about it, you see a lot of young men and young women, and they'll have the black missionary badge
Yes.
on. Let me tell you something about those young men and women. They leave their homes, wherever they are, all over the world. I've been graced to meet missionaries from Fiji, from Tonga, various parts of the United States, other islands in the Caribbean. They say goodbye to their families, and they leave home for, it's between 18 months to 2 years. And during that time, they are full-time, dedicated missionaries, going out there and in some cases knocking on doors, speaking to people that they have never met before. And heaven knows what kind of reception they're going to get.
Yes.
I've been out with them a few times. And let me tell you something, big bad Kathy that thinks she's so tough. I was so nervous when I had to go and knock on that first door.
Yes.
I laughed at myself. I said, wow, this takes courage. And I admire these young men and women. They come out and they give it their all. And they have such a good time doing it. It's wonderful.
Yes. When you think about it, you know, and you really put it into context when you look at Jesus' life. He sacrificed, he left home. He left the comfort of his parents' home and traveled wherever his feet could take him. And so he lived elsewhere. He did service to people, and they were all strangers. And imagine paralleling your life with that and the satisfaction that comes from that. And not just from you personally, but think of your Heavenly Father, how pleased He must possibly be with the fact that you're doing this in His honor, in His name as well. That has to be a tremendous, you know, consequence of your decision. And so I know that's what your church is doing every single day when we see the guys on the road. And I want to encourage Barbadians not to look at them with scorn or fear, because they're just doing missionary work, trying to reach souls that are lost, which is what your day of service is truly all about, your whole activity of service.
Yes, as I said, you know, we also have other programs that we're working closely with the shelter, the BAEH, Barbados Alliance to End Homelessness, to help the people most in need. I don't know what it's like not to have some place to sleep. Okay, I don't know what it's like not to know where my next meal is coming from. I have no clue what that feels like. But other people are out there suffering. We have so many people that are struggling. And the last 2.5, 3 years with the pandemic and all the economic upheaval, that did not help.
Yes.
So, you know, when we look around and we see we can do something, it can be as simple as donating a can of tuna. I mean,
yes. And so if anybody, as you put it that way, I know there's going to be other opportunities for you to continue giving and feeding. If there's anyone watching who wants to make that donation, how do they contact you?
They can look in the phone book for the church. I'm sorry, I don't have the phone number in front of me. But the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is in the phone book, and there's a mission office which is down on the South Coast on Highway 7. And they will be happy to put you in touch. Or just ask around, because we've got 3 branches, Oystins, Rendezvous, and Black Rock. So chances are you might know somebody in your neighborhood or around that knows them, that knows us, and can help get in touch with us.
For all it's
We're also on Facebook. We're on Facebook.
For all it's worth, Kathy, thank you so much. I really want to thank yourselves at the church as well for continuing to follow your mission as Latter-day Saints. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, in their community service, really being of service to our community as well. And this service day that happened was a resounding success. More opportunities are going to be abound, and we'll keep contact with you as you keep us abreast of the plans and the activities of the church as well. Thank you so much, Kathy, for joining us.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
It was an honor.
Morning Barbados takes a break. When we come back, the news. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.
Morning Barbados will be coming to your parish live every Friday until November. Stay tuned from 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. to see which parish we're in. Join us for it all.
Good morning, morning Barbados, good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning, good morning to you.
Let's take a look at the news now. One man is dead and another injured after yet another shootout in St. Michael on Tuesday night. The Barbados Police Service confirmed reports of gunfire at My Lord's Hill after receiving a telephone call to Operations Control at around 6:47 p.m. Reports were that one man was wounded to his mouth and the other injuries to his leg and abdomen. Police say the two men were then taken to hospital by private vehicle for medical attention. 39-year-old Ryan Granham of Licorice Village, My Lord's Hill, St. Michael, however, passed away after receiving emergency surgery. Investigations are ongoing. The Estates of St. George project may have slowed a bit owing to weather conditions, but developers are hopeful for a December completion. Wendy Burke tells us now that some areas are already complete.
Anyone traversing the Boarded Hall area in St. George would see a hive of activity as workmen move swiftly to complete work at the Sagicor project, the Estates at St. George. Edward Clark, the Director of Strategic Projects with the insurance company, told CBC there were a few stalls along the way, but work is actively continuing to finish it.
The project is going quite well. Obviously, we've had a few interruptions recently with the amount of rain that we've been having in Barbados in the last few weeks. But we are gearing towards a December completion, and that will be phase one of the project, the 88 residential units. The commercial center is already completed, and the clubhouse and the back-of-house operations center.
Mr. Clark said the contractors are working with them and have committed to delivery dates.
We are expecting completion from the construction companies by middle of December. That is our expected date. Everyone is getting excited at this time, as you can understand, as we're nearing completion and pushing ahead, full steam ahead, to try and ensure we meet our target dates.
The estates feature a number of amenities, and the setting, which has been described as a lovely place to live, is not only to attract retirees, but individuals from all walks of life who may want to live there. Wendy Burke, CBC News.
Wendy, thank you. A new comprehensive strategy is being unveiled to address the daily gridlock on the island's roads. The initiative, dubbed the National Transportation Mobility Plan, is expected to form part of the new Draft Development Plan 2023, set to be rolled out in a few months' time. Senior Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honourable William Dugard, provided an update during a World Town Planning Day symposium at the Courtyard by Marriott. The event, hosted by the Barbados Town Planning Society, focused on decarbonising Barbados and the impacts of physical planning, green transport and mobility.
It is well demonstrated that constructing new roads alone will not solve our transport challenges. There must be a change in emphasis towards mobility shifting. The focus from planning for cars into planning a network where there's a transportation choice for people and goods.
Dr. Duguid says the new system will introduce a range of new modes of transportation on land and at sea.
Our land use planning through the Physical Development Amended 2023 must set the stage to ensure that a range of transport strategies and modes are deployed that are appropriate to the context. These include a reliable and effective transit network, urban transportation management strategies, introducing park and ride locations at key junctures, and advancing existing and planned active transportation and trails, and introducing water taxis and water ferry services.
Well, Barbadians are today paying more for gasoline, diesel and kerosene. The increase began at midnight. However, there has been a reduction in the price of liquefied petroleum gas products. The price of gasoline is now $4.23 a litre, an increase of 9 cents. Diesel is up by 13 cents to $4.03 a litre. And kerosene has moved to $2.42, that's an increase of 28 cents. Meanwhile, the retail price of bottled gas has been reduced to $167.66 for the 100-pound cylinder, $47.01 for the 25-pound cylinder, and $41.54 for the 22-pound cylinder, while the 20-pound cylinder now retails at $37.76. The flooding at Murphy's Pasture has prompted government to move to compulsorily acquire land at Kensington New Road and Beccles Hill, New Orleans. In moving the resolution, the Minister of Housing, Lands and Maintenance, Dwight Sutherland, said the 3 parcels of land will be used to relocate several families. He told the lower chamber yesterday they have to protect the residents' health and prevent social decay. The ministry will be constructing 12 3-bedroom units in one area and housing 8 people in the other.
Three parcels of land. Thank you. And we mentioned that the 3 parcels, 2 parcels are located at Kensington New Road in St. Michael. But approximately, that parcel is 11,480 square feet of land. And there are 2 parcels, 2 lots. And then at Beccles Land, New Orleans, there's a larger parcel, some 37,529 square feet of land, which is close to an acre, 0.86 of an acre.
Well, that's our update on news until now. We'll have more news right here on TV8 at 12 noon in the CBC Newsday. Morning Barbados continues in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.
Morning Barbados will be coming to your parish live every Friday until November. Stay tuned from 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. to see which parish we're in. Join us for it all.
Good morning. Morning Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Come on, you got me, make some noise. Are you ready?
Q in the Community is on every Thursday in a community near you.
Q in the Community is well and alive.
Come on down and, have a line with all of me. The more mature folk come to dance, to sing.
Keep the bones smooth.
Q in the Community is your place to meet friends, to socialize, and just to be you.
Yes, come on down and take in the karaoke.
Whether you're coming from north, south, east, or west, we have a bus for you.
Q in the Community.
Stay tuned to Q100.7 FM to find out where we will be next, and follow us on Facebook. Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're now 10 and a half minutes after 7 o'clock this Wednesday morning. You know, the headlines across the world are saying that tourism stakeholders have been flocking to London for this year's World Travel Market. And as tourism specialists ourselves, we're there. Barbados is represented by our Minister of Tourism and International Transport, the Honourable Ian Gooding Edgehill, and also the Chairman of the BTMI, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporated, Shelley Williams. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning. Good morning, Pearson. How are you? Good morning,
I'm well, thank you for asking. I hope both of you are surviving the weather conditions that are there. No doubt very cold.
Indeed, but we are. But that's often good because then we can encourage more UK travelers to come to Barbados. So where it is perceived as a negative, there's a positive on the across for us.
Oh, very often Barbados is very well received in these global fora. Talk to me a little bit about why we're there and what is it that you've been experiencing since you've been there.
Sure. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. As you indicated, I have with me the chairman of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. We also have our permanent secretary who's on tour with us and other representatives here in London. We have the entire BTMA staff in London, as well as a representative from the European office here with us. I must tell you that in all of our meetings with the tour operators and the airline executives, there's a sense of confidence, renewed confidence in Barbados as a destination, notwithstanding the challenges that we have been that there have been faced with, such as particularly with the airlines, fuel, human resources, and limits and capacities at the airport. What we've been told is that the airlines have reprotected our routes to Barbados, and you would appreciate the concerns coming over Heathrow Airport in particular when travel was cut to other jurisdictions. That didn't obtain for Barbados. So we're very pleased about that. We have renewed confidence in that approach, and the fact that the airlines continue to protect our routes, I think, is a major plus for Barbados. In addition, in London, we're meeting and we have met. I mean, I can't tell you that we've had a break in between meetings. We've been, from the time the doors open, people have been flocking to the stand. We've had a tense round of meetings, back-to-back meetings up until the time we are due to leave here tomorrow. What the tour operators are also indicating to us that they're very optimistic about winter. In fact, I would say 98% of the persons who we met with have indicated that winter will not see any slowdowns whatsoever. We are pleased about that. One thing that is very difficult to predict at this time is summer travel, because of the late booking windows that we're encountering, and that's what the operators are telling us. But we remain confident that with the sales are likely to happen for the peak season in January, we will be in a better position to evaluate where we are going to be in the summer. So I'm remaining optimistic. On the airline side, what I can tell you is that British Airways will have 12 flights per week, including 5 from Gatwick, and they're also going to have 10 rotations for Easter. So that's going to, and I must also tell you that they have committed to a larger aircraft. They're going to use this 777-300 with additional seats. So we are expecting additional, I think it's 11,205 seats to come in for this winter. And that's only from British Airways. When we look at Virgin, for example, we're going to have daily flights out of the UK, but in addition to that, we are going to have the 3 flights a week from Manchester, and that will bring additional airlift not only from the Manchester area, from other European gateways that we are focusing on. Aer Lingus has remained committed to us. They're going to continue with 3 flights per week. They're also coming out of Manchester, and KLM, as you know, we've been able to keep KLM for this season, and they will also have 3 flights coming out of Amsterdam. So I must tell you, I am upbeat, as you probably will detect from my voice.
Yes.
And from the nod from the chairman. But I also will, I must also inform you as well that TUI they're returning to Barbados. They're going to have bigger ships. In fact, they're going to have 2 big ones in Barbados. And what they've also done for us is that they've increased from 7 to 8 flights per week. That would bring an additional, we're looking to top up and go all the way to about 54,000 seats for the winter period. That's the winter 22 to 23. And that should be soaring above what they would have had for the last winter season. We are also exploring other opportunities, not only with TUI, but certainly with our aviation partners. And once we do that, I think we're in a better position to reposition Barbados. We've also talked about our new offerings. We've had extensive discussions. Of course, as you know, culinary represents a huge feature for us, and we've been promoting that very heavily here in the UK. And in addition to that, we've also been informing the trade of all of our new offerings, including obviously the Wyndham seminars that will come on stream early next year. That's welcome news for the airline industry because, as you know, the airlines like to know that they have capacity in Barbados to fill the seats. But all in all, I can say that it's been very good exposure for Barbados. Once again, building on what we've done in the past. The BTMA staff here, they're excellent. They're doing a great job for Barbados and the promotion of Barbados as a destination. And we anticipate even better things as we reposition and obviously add new attractions and the like to Barbados.
Well, that's great news. I'm sure Barbadians this morning are feeling a lot more upbeat, and particularly those in the tourism industry, to know that we do have these things coming in the pipelines and we are all excited about it. But from the product side now, and I know this is where also the BTMI and perhaps Ms. Williams, you can clarify for us, and I see the people behind them getting into meeting rooms and meeting, which is fantastic to see the interest building in the Barbados product. What is it that they're asking for, and what is it that we can guarantee to them that will be that true, authentic I was asking, what is it that your people are asking for, the people who come to the booth are asking for, and what are some of the things that we're saying to them to tell them, to give them the reason why Barbados is a destination of choice?
Well, a lot of the persons coming to the booth are very interested in our culinary experience. You know, we're coming off the bat of our food and rum weekend, and we're looking at all the new destinations. Barbados has culinary experience second to none. It doesn't matter what you like to eat, we can offer it for you. If you want to be on the beach and with your flip-flops on, or you want to dress up nicely and go to the cliff, for instance. If you're vegan, you can go to Baja, or you can go to Local and Co. If you want to have any experience, we offer even fast food. So what we are hearing from our partners is that those culinary offerings from Barbados is second to none, and they are very interested in coming to Barbados for those experiences.
That's the food experience. Then there's the people, the places,
Absolutely.
The other points of interest.
Absolutely. But the other points of interest, obviously we have our Harrison's Cave that's still doing well. We're hearing even romance. So we're seeing now that a lot of people are asking about where can we go within Barbados to be married. We're talking to them about the curated experiences that you can do and experience in Barbados when you are looking for a bridal destination or a wedding destination. So those are the questions that are being asked right now. It's a lot surrounding culinary, and it is a lot surrounding romance. So building out those and those product offerings is what we're doing at this moment.
And so it behoves all of us here on the island to get ourselves ready, because the influx is coming. So, Minister, obviously one of the things as a traveler I am, I'd be always concerned about is the ease of entry. I don't want to have to stand up in an airport forevermore. I just want to get on land and enjoy the experience. So are you getting those kinds of questions about ease of entry, and what do you say?
No, we haven't, not here at World Travel Market. I think persons are more interested in the future and how we can build the business. But to your point, I'm uniquely aware that we have to ensure that experience is a seamless one. We're working with the Immigration Department and our other partners to ensure that's seamless. Upon my return to Barbados, I will be meeting with those persons to ensure that we improve the experience at the Grantley Adams International Airport, which is critical, and also the other areas that fit to that welcoming experience. There will be an improvement there. When I get back, of course, I'm in a better position to give you more details, but I do agree. We have a number of companies that represent us at the airport and help us to fast track and facilitate visitors, especially those who are traveling in the luxury category. But we have to ensure that that entire experience at the Grantley Adams International Airport is seamless. And like I said, we will be reviewing the process, seeing where we can make changes and adjustments to facilitate that very ease of access and entry to our Grantley Adams International Airport and associated areas. So we are going to be talking about that upon my return.
At the World Travel Market, apart from airlift, there's the opportunity to travel in by sea as well. Are the cruise industry practitioners also there to engage in this exchange at the World Travel Market?
Yes, very much so. As I indicated, TUI, they will be having 2 larger ships in addition to the fleet in Bridgetown. What they've reported to us, in fact, we met with them yesterday. We have seen a significant interest in that market, and we believe that will augur well for the future of Barbados. There are other initiatives that are coming on stream. I'm not at liberty to discuss them now in respect to the cruise sector, but we are definitely taking advantage. In fact, when we leave London, we'll be heading into Miami, where I'm going to have obviously a meet and greet and also to discuss increased opportunities for the cruise business in Barbados, meeting with all of the operators of the Miami area. In addition, airlift is important, and all major partners continue to help us protect airlift, and we will be doing everything possible to defend airlift as well as to grow airlift into Barbados. It's a tough market to be in at this time. Obviously, everybody's competing for the space now that the world has reopened for travel, and it is therefore our business to ensure that we do whatever we can to protect the airlift, like I said, but more importantly, to grow it. So it's a lot of work, a lot of work. Like I said, we've had our chair, our permanent secretary, and others who are here with us working overtime back to back. I think they might be afraid to say that I probably don't allow them to get too much rest. But the task at hand for us as a country, we depend on tourism earnings to help build out. We've just come through, a COVID period where the government had to spend a lot of money to protect Barbados and Barbadians, and therefore the task is mine, along with the team that I have the opportunity and pleasure to work with, and certainly for the people of Barbados who I work for, to do everything within our power to ensure that we increase business to Barbados and get the spending. And that's the mission, and that's the mandate that I've come here with the team, and I'm pleased to say that I think we are on track.
It sounds really good, and it's good to know that we are on track, as you said. New minister into the new position, and so far you've hit the ground really running, which is fantastic. But you have some excellent people working alongside you through Ms. Williams and her team as well, and the whole set of people who work in the tourism industry. So no doubt Barbados is going to look really fantastic indeed. So thank you so much for joining us from cold London. I know you're heading over to Miami tomorrow. That's a little bit of warmth and sunshine. But to the team who are there at the World Travel Market, do extend our congratulations and our best wishes as you continue to represent Barbados so well to the rest of the world. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, Kirsten.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Barbados Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Ian Gooding Edgehill, along with Shelley Williams, who's the chair of the BTMI, they're representing Barbados at the World Travel Market with great news of guaranteed protected flights into Barbados and increased exposure on flights as well. Much more to come on Morning Barbados right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Matchback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
When disaster threatens, it is comforting to know there's a team working to deliver credible, comprehensive, and up-to-date information. A team that is committed to serving you. A team that will be there before, during, and after the disaster. That is Team CBC, here for you this hurricane season.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's Wednesday morning, and I know many of you, like me, look forward to the moment that we do talk HR with Hermab. And so this morning, we want to take a look at the HR's role as a champion of organizational culture. Joining us as we look into this very exciting subject is Dr. Kenroy Burke, who is a leadership consultant and entrepreneur. And with him is my good friend, Sonia Lane Gartside, who is an award-winning global consultant in strategy, leadership, and a whole lot more. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning, Pearson, and good morning,
Good to see you. Good to see your smile again, Sonia. But I want to start with you, Kenroy, because in looking at this whole subject of HR's role as a champion of organizational structure, let's first discuss and describe what organizational culture is all about.
Thank you, Pearson. Now, the Ocitana group said this whole concept of organizational culture, sometimes you may hear persons call it company culture or corporate culture, even workplace culture. They all refer to the same thing. But the group says that it's really and truly the essence of the company that you work for. They go on to say it's the heart and soul of your organization. Those social operating systems that are taking place in the background. Sometimes you can't necessarily see them, you see the results of them. But those operations that are taking place in the background, influencing how people work, how they interact with the company, and how the company interacts with them, with the customers, with the community as general. There's a lady called Brittany Forsyth who actually says that, she believes that is the behaviors and beliefs that persons bring into the organization, but also that the organization perpetuates and causes persons then to be able to operate based on those basic little simple things.
If culture is organic, it happens as it happens with those with whom it happens, can one then put structure to that?
Okay, so interestingly, the whole concept of organizational structure, everything comes into play then. If you think of it carefully, Pearson, the culture of an organization can be formed, can be created. Leaders can determine what culture they want, what they want to see happen in the organization. That is something that you can determine that you are going to coin and you are going to work on. I believe strongly that the culture of any organization takes place first and foremost in the C-suite, where the decisions are made, where people sit, discuss issues, and come up with decisions. Yes, it can be formed. Yes, it can be structured. And I think that is one of the strengths of having a good HR department on board, to be able to help structure those elements for you.
So then, Sonia, why does HR have to play such a critical role in determining and championing that culture? Why?
Because in the organization, there are the keepers and stewards of culture. So just what Kenroy is saying, if you have good HR people, that's their role. to really ensure that what we say the culture is actually what obtains. If not, you know, organizations may end up with a culture where we say, hey, we're inclusive, we are big on accountability, but that doesn't happen. You say it, but you don't live it. And so HR are the people that ensure that what you say your culture is, the culture that you think will ensure that you get and accomplish your goals, is what actually happens. So that's why they're so important.
It just feels as if there's so much work that HR has to do, because HR has so much administrative work that they have to complete, and yet still I have to be looking around and ensuring that the culture is one that is conducive and meets the goals of my organization. How on heaven's earth is an HR practitioner able to do so? Sonia, talk to me a little bit about the challenges and how they can overcome some of those challenges.
Well, they don't have to do it alone, and it's the priority. And so if you're in HR and you're not prioritizing the culture, then you're making more work for yourself in terms of the administration, etc. So you want to prioritize the culture. And you can do that in several ways. The first one is really get feedback from your employees and act on it. You know, employees voice concerns and their opinions to HR. And so that's an easy way of figuring out, is our culture what we say it is? Is our culture creating an environment in which people can thrive? And so you get that feedback and then you act on it. Most likely people fall into the challenge of getting the feedback, you know, the feedback systems. You get an employee engagement survey, you get a focus group, people come into your office and tell you something, but you don't act on it. So that the challenge is to act on that feedback that you get, to really go back to leaders and say, hey, the decisions you're making, this is how it impacts employees. This is how it's landing on them. And it's not creating the culture that we want. The second thing that HR people can do is to coach and train leaders, because again, they're not doing it alone. They are really there to ensure that leaders in their day-to-day activities are implementing and cultivating the type of culture that we want. And so that requires that they're providing training, because a lot of leaders, they're just given the title. And we've often fallen into this symptom where leaders think, I'm here, I have a high status, a high pay, but I don't do the actual work, which is to create the culture in which employees can thrive. And so giving them training will help create that culture. And then, of course, they have to really understand that they're change agents. HR people help their employees to adapt and be flexible in a world that's changing. Yes. And so they really have to be those change agents. And that means ensuring that you have the policies, the systems, the norms that help employees to, you know, really calm their anxiety when everything is changing, give them the information that they need, and ensure that they're equipped with the skills and the tools to really do the work that is called in today's world.
And you touched on it, you know, and come back to you, Kenroy. So then, I suppose, as part of that change of culture, moving towards one where the organization is successful, we have to start writing things down. We have to start documenting and putting policies in place.
Yeah. No, of course, no. Again, Sonia is very correct when she speaks to the fact that leadership has to take the must go ahead, in this endeavor. If we say we want a certain culture created, it means then that we have to be extremely intentional about putting everything in place. Yes, policies are to be put in place. Yes, procedures, structures, and systems, all those things are indeed to be put in place. But at the end of the day, Pearson, the greatest asset that you will ever have in any organization is your people.
That's right.
And the investment, therefore, needs to be placed a whole lot more on the people in the organization. That's why, as Sonia is saying, the training is critical. Because, again, Drucker says that culture eats strategy for breakfast. You could put up all of the things in place. You could create all of those beautiful things. And then, because you haven't changed the internal human culture, the way people deal with each other, where people operate amongst themselves, how people work in teams, etc., everything just falls to the ground and you lose a whole lot of momentum. When you go into do most organizational assessments, it really and truly, yes, there are points where you will find that there are issues with procedures, etc., that are put in place. But generally, most of the challenges will point towards people who have deficits that need to be worked on in order for you to be able to reach the goals that you want. You're looking at the culture of your organization to allow you to be able to fulfill that mission and vision that you have for the entire organization.
It's a partnership between employee, employer, HR. Everyone's involved in here, but sometimes you have an external partner called a union. And so the culture can itself become rather toxic for some people because it doesn't happen as straightforward as one would want. So how do we begin? And I could hear some HR practitioners this morning thinking, this sounds like a lot of work. We've been existing so long with this toxic culture. I don't even know where to start. Sonia, what do you say to that HR practitioner this morning about where to start so that we can begin to turn that culture into something that's positive?
Well, you start with your employees. Start with your leader first, because you really need to ensure that you have a leader that understands that your job, you must have a seat at the table and they must listen to you. So if you are at a place where you're trying to figure out how to start, you only have an audience of one to convince right now, which is your leader. And once you get your leader on board, then you go to your employees because they know what the problem is. The challenge is often we don't listen to the feedback and act on it. And so that's the second stage, acting on the feedback. And once you have your leader on board, then they will give you the resources to act on the feedback. And really, you understand that you don't do it alone. Unions are involved. They're representing the employees. So therefore, that's a voice that you need to listen to. And then you think win-win, not win-lose or lose-win. How do we have win-win decisions? We're here to ensure that everybody wins. And when you have that attitude, then the investment of time and work that you put in will pay off. It always does.
Some will say too, it's easier in a smaller working environment where it's just, the structure is so flat, it's easier to communicate. But when the structure is a little bit different and you have other partners who might be external to you, then perhaps it becomes a little bit harder. Would that be a true position to hold?
Yes,
it
becomes harder, but it doesn't mean it's insurmountable. And that's why they pay you the big buck, to handle these difficult decisions. That's why you're trained, that's why you're skilled. And I'm sure Kenroy has additional points to make here, but I would say this work isn't necessarily easy, but that's why we are highly skilled in it, to make it look easy. But we put in the work to ensure that we build the relationships and we build the skills to implement it.
Kenroy?
And I would want to add, interestingly, a kind of a different perspective. Sometimes in smaller organizations, communication is even more challenging because if you have very few persons that are communicating, if one person is struggling in the area of communication, it means it's going to affect the others a lot more. So what you find, as Sonia is saying, people are trained in these areas. It is our task to make sure that people are trained. It is our task as leaders to make sure that persons are given the tools that are necessary. Really and truly, leaders are behind her and in an environment that they want to see. The sad part, unfortunately, is sometimes they get exactly what they want, but not necessarily what the organization may want.
Yes. Folks, we got to leave it right there. As always, I just feel as if time is always against us when we talk HR with Hermap. I don't get it, but nonetheless, another exciting and interesting one. So if you're watching today and you're in HR and you're thinking, I want to make the change, part of that change is also contacting Hermap. hrmab.org.bb is the website. I like to say membership comes with benefits. If you're not yet a member, sign up today. And these folks who are already a part of Hermap are happy to work alongside you to see the change that you want to see in your community, that is the place where you work as well. So I want to encourage all of you today to give great consideration to joining Hermap and to reaching out to have the help that's available to you. It doesn't start hard, but it starts with you, and it can start today with Hermap as well. Thank you so much, Sonia Gartside, and good morning to you again, Kenroy Burke. I want to wish you both the very best. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
us.
You're
welcome. You're very welcome indeed. We're going to take a break here on Morning Barbados, and we're coming back with more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning Barbados will be coming to your parish live every Friday until November. Stay tuned from 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. to see which parish we're in. Join us for it all.
Good morning, morning Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Come on, you family, make some noise. Are you ready?
Q in the Community is on every Thursday in a community near you.
Q in the community is well and alive.
Come on down and, have a line with all of me. The more mature folk come to dance, to sing.
Keep the bones smooth.
Q in the Community is your place to meet friends, to socialize, and just to be you.
Yes, come on down and take in the karaoke.
Whether you're coming from north, south, east, or west, we have a bus for you.
Q in the Community.
Stay tuned to Q100.7 FM to find out where we will be next, and follow us on Facebook. Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
18 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock as I hear the rains outside, and that makes me feel oh so good. But right now it's time to know whether or not you know Barbados. It's time to know Barbados and win. Time for you to give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563. I'll give you a picture on your screen. Your task is to identify the location, call me, tell me the correct answer, and if you do, your name goes into the big box for the draw coming Monday. So, time to know Barbados and win. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Look at your screen because I'm going to give you the picture now. Tell me, this is so easy. Where is this? Where in Barbados is this? If you get this wrong, I can't believe it. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Where in Barbados is this? Look, look, look. Where is it? Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Pearson.
Hi. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad.
All right. Is it raining where you are?
Yes, it is, but it starts to ease up a little.
Ease up just a little bit. And where are you, by the way?
I'm at the Ivy St. Michael.
The Ivy in St. Michael, so you're not too far from where I am. What's your first name?
Margaret.
Oh, Margaret, and not Ivy. All right, Margaret, where is this?
It looked to me like Graham Hall Swamp.
It looked like Graham Hall Swamp. When was the last time you went to Graham Hall Swamp? I was going to say Ivy. Margaret?
I can't even tell you when.
Girl, I can't even tell you when, but I could tell you you're wrong.
That's
right. Thank you, Margaret, for trying. Thank you so much. She got it wrong. No Barbados and win. Come on. You guys must have been driving around, moving around, visiting our iconic spots as well. So 228-5562 or 228-5563. We don't have someone yet telling us where this is. I'd like to know where it is. We have visitors to our island who also need to know. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi. Listen. Is it raining where you are?
Yes, it is.
This is my friend Billy Scant. So it's raining where you are, but it's held up just a little bit, right?
Yes.
As a good old country girl, you got to know where this is. Where is this?
Yeah, Codrington College, St. John.
Don't ask me. Oh, you telling me or you asking me?
I'm telling you.
You sure?
Well, it better be.
No.
That's what it is.
You're absolutely right. It is indeed Codrington College, that lovely pond, that little lake area right there at the end of it. Yeah. Well done, Billy. Stay on the line, all right? You stay on the line. We'll take some more details from you. Indeed. Thank you, too. Billy Scant is absolutely right. That is it right there at Codrington College. I thought you saw the big able college in the background in the picture. You didn't? Margaret. But that's Codrington College. Thanks to our partners, Purity Bakeries, Barbados Beach Club, Seabreeze House, Aqua Spa, Oro Restaurant, Ross Trevor Hotel, and Golden Sands Hotel. Good luck to all of you. I hope you get your name pulled on Monday when we give you a call. A break, and when we come back, we're looking at NIFCA and that big drive-in movie night. Stay with us. More in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Matchback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
When disaster threatens, it is comforting to know there's a team working to deliver credible, comprehensive, and up-to-date information. A team that is committed to serving you. A team that will be there before, during, and after the disaster. That is Team CBC, here for you this hurricane season.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special?
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
12 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock as we turn our attention to NIFCA and film in particular. And we're joined this morning by Barbados Film Commissioner Annette Nias. Annette, good morning to you.
Hi, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
Good to see you yet again, Annette. Film. And I know just recently NIFCA too. And I saw just recently.
We're face to face this year, so we're very excited about that.
I can't wait to hear honestly about it. I know you would have had a film competition recently. Registration is now closed. Also for the 7-day film challenge. How has that been?
Yeah, there were two competitions.
Mm-hmm.
So the film competition invited applicants in the areas of narrative fiction, documentary, and music video. And so this is completed. We're just going through the adjudication process right now. The film challenge ended last Friday. There were about 12 teams that entered. So that's also being adjudicated. So I'm very excited because the award-winning films will be shown on the night of Saturday 19th.
See that? I mean, it must warm your heart to know that Barbadians are out there and, I mean, really creating great work in film too.
Yeah, and I'm pleased with the entries this year as well.
Oh, that means that this drive-in movie night is going to be really good. And is pleased with the entries this year. I can't wait myself. So let's come to that, because I know the last time we did it, we filled out the car park there at the NCF. That's where it's going to be again this year?
Yes, the NCF car park. We'll set up a temporary screen there.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be refreshments. We start at 6. Doors open at 5 p.m. and it ends around 9 p.m.
It can't be that you just drive in and drive in. Do we have to register ahead of it?
I think you need to check the NCF website, www.ncf.bb, and that's where the booking process will happen.
Good. So go to the NCF's website, ncf.bb and book your spot. Reserve your spot for your car full of people and come in and enjoy some wonderful Bajan films. I know you can't
And
say...
it's free. It's free. You just have to book beforehand.
Yeah, so we can control parking and space and traffic flow, those kinds of things. But it's a great opportunity to bring the entire family, from little one to older one and oldest one, to come together as a family and enjoy one wonderful night. Bring your popcorn, your everything else as well, and enjoy some good Bajan film.
Right, a night of Bajan cinema. A night of Bajan cinema. That's the important aspect of it.
A night of Bajan cinema. Can you give us
all
a sense?
All made here by Barbadian creatives.
And so, can you give us a sense of what we will watch on that night?
Well, because the competition isn't closed yet, but what I can't give details, obviously.
Yes.
But what I will say that mainly short films. In the challenge, they had a theme, and what was interesting about the challenge, everyone had to use the same 4 elements. Of course, this is to make sure that you bring a new film. You had to make the film in 7 days. So they were supposed to use, one of the props had to be a $50 bill. One location had to be a doorway. One character had to be an old woman, and your theme had to be becoming a republic. So what audiences should see is several approaches to these themes, to these elements in films.
The $50 bill, an old woman. So, I mean, I can't wait to see how they've looked at it and approached it through the eyes of their lens. And so that's what we're going to be enjoying, really, a night of Bajan cinema in our drive-in, and gather the whole family and come. You said on what date is it again?
Saturday, 19th November.
Right.
Doors open at 5, showing starts at 6.
So folks, get everybody together. We go. NIFCA is celebrating our film creators, our creatives who are producing great film work. So there are going to be several shorts, but nonetheless, they're going to be exciting and riveting. And as Annette told you, she's very pleased with the entries this year. So we're going to be very, very pleased with what we see on the evening of the 19th at the National Cultural Foundation. But you need to register your spot early. So go to ncf.bb today. If you're at your computer right now, register right now to reserve your space. ncf.bb, because it's a drive-in. It's a case where you drive in with all your family and friends and you watch the film from there. And we have that true authentic drive-in experience where you have this, you tune in and you have your speakers and
we have FM transmission to your car.
Oh, sweet. And the big screen, and then you can lay back your chair and, and do your thing. That
and
true
you can
authentic.
and we'll have gourmet popcorn.
Ah, sweet.
That's where we differ from the other, from our competitors.
Yes, indeed so. It is one delightful evening, folks. It's on the 19th. The doors will open at 5 o'clock, so you can begin to drive in early, pick your spot and settle. And then the films will start 6. Once the sun sets, the films will come up on the big screen and have the authentic drive-in experience that is better than the other one that you know about, with some gourmet popcorn, your FM receiver so you receive the sound, and you get to see some wonderful Barbadian creations, indeed, on screen. And I want to wish you and your team the very best on this. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us this morning that we can excitedly look forward to?
Only that on Friday, don't miss NIFCA in the Square continues at Freedom Park in Bridgetown, and that begins around 4 p.m.
Right. And that too
An
is
evening
free.
of music of the young people of Barbados, and that too is free. Yeah, please don't miss it.
Yeah, please don't. I mean, it's going to be a few hours, but you're right there in town and you're comfortable in the open air, but you're enjoying some wonderful expression of creativity from the young people of Barbados on stage at Golden Square Freedom Park. That's where it's going to be. And if you need to know a little bit more about it, again, the NCF's website is right there, ncf.bb. But we want to encourage Barbadians in numbers to support that this Friday, beginning at 4, and then on the 19th, in the car park of the National Cultural Foundation for the drive-in movie night. Really a night of real Bajan cinema. And reserve your space right now by going on the website ncf.bb. Annette Nias is the film commissioner working at the NCF and working on NIFCA film. The entries are in, there's several, and so they're making their assessments because we're going to be dazzled by them on the 19th. Annette, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome indeed. Annette Nias, Film Commissioner. So where are we going on the 19th of November? We're going to the NCF's car park, but we're going today to the NCF's website, ncf.bb, and we're going to reserve our spot, our car space. So bring the whole family, bring your numbers, and enjoy some good old Bajan film in location. A break. When we come back, some Bajan sayings. I'd like to hear from you, their meanings. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So we have 3 minutes to do this all in. So come on, 228-5562 or 228-5563. I have some Bajan sayings. I'd like for you to interpret them and give me the English meaning. 228-5562 or 228-5563. So what's the first one? Here's your first one now. You can't put mongoose to watch chickens. You can't put mongoose to watch chicken. Call me now. Let me know what you think that means. 228-5562 or 228-5563. You can't put mongoose to watch chicken. So what does that mean? Yes, you can't put mongoose to watch chicken. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
You Bajan, you? How are you?
I good.
Oh, good, Rods?
Yeah.
Listen, what do you think that means? You can't put mongoose to watch chicken?
You can't put mongoose to watch chickens. You are going to put trouble. Let me say how I would say it. Because mongoose going to eat the chicken, so you can't put... What happened behind there saying?
Talk to me.
Something, no wickedness, the goodness. That's me. That's how I would interpret it.
Not quite right.
But no, you can't put mongoose... The chicken, because I know what mongoose can do. I can eat him up.
Yeah. I understand, but you're quite hitting the meaning for me, all right?
Yeah, all right.
Thanks, Ron. All right, let's see if we can take another call. 228-5562 or 228-5563. You can't put mongoose to watch chicken. Come on, y'all know this. It is so logical, it is just not funny. The plot thickens. We wait with anticipation. What will be the revelation? Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
All right, good. What parish are you from?
Christchurch.
Christchurch. You can't put mongoose to watch chicken. What does that mean, quickly?
You can't put someone to yard something that they like or they're extremely fond of.
Why not?
Because then they'll take it up. It's like putting a thief to watch money.
They'll be tempted by it, right?
It's true.
Never trust people with things which will be of great temptation to them. But you're absolutely right. I think I understand your thinking, but there you go. So never trust people with things which will be a great temptation to them. Well done. Thank you, Bajan. Well done indeed. Bajan says the meanings. If it be God's will, we'll have some more for you again tomorrow morning. But we have to leave it right there, folks. We're out of time. Thanks to my producer, Nadia Foster, our technical director, Mr. Samuel Mason, assisted today by Roel Ford. Also at sound has been Christopher Blenman, master controller girl, Tamisha Green, and Pearson Boyne. For all of them, to each of you, we say good morning. See you tomorrow.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.